Hi, I'm Brandon Olin, and I am the stand-in host for Tweet of the Week. I'm excited about all the things that are happening in FCPS right now, especially in our schools. And as you can see, there's always a bunch of chatter that's happening here on Twitter. I'd like to stop right here on a tweet from Karen Hopson, who's the Centerville Elementary principal, who was sharing about a new sensory playground at her school. We were fortunate to bring in Karen for an interview, and she was joined by Urbana High student Galila Ibrahim. And they wanted to discuss how this sensory playground came to be.
Well, I was approached by Galila prior to the pandemic, and she had this amazing idea. And she wanted to bring a sensory playground to Centerville Elementary School. And of course, I was delighted. And she had the idea, she had it all planned out. And so we were ready to roll with it. Unfortunately, the pandemic hit and we had to push pause. And I had actually forgotten about it. And not long after the school year started this year, she reached out again and was ready just to go with it. And I was like, yes, let's do this. And we actually have a program assistant at my school, Lynn Sweeney, who helped with the project too, because it's very near and dear to her heart to bring something like this to our school and for our students. And coming out of the pandemic and have the kids welcome back to our school, it was just a perfect time to have this project come to life. And she had it all planned out. Truly, we just had to give her the space and the time and a little bit of money to get the project going.
You know, it was just heartwarming to find out the motivation behind this sensory playground, and it really goes to show you the power of what can happen when students and staff work together to provide an opportunity for students.
So the motivation for me was my brother, Ibrahim. He was diagnosed with ADHD and cluttering, which is a problem, a mental illness where he is unable to form words. His brain is able to process it quickly, but his mouth just can't catch up. And so it made it very difficult for him to communicate and, talk with his peers and connect with them. And so Miss Lynn Sweeney had talked to me about how a lot of the kids at Centerville Elementary could really benefit from a sensory playground and, like being able to communicate with their peers, having an opportunity to de-stress after being in a structured classroom setting for hours on end. So that's what really motivated me. And then the plan was, come up with as many things that I would want as, an elementary schooler, as well as integrating opportunities for them to communicate. So we created a 4 square of feelings. So you can still play your traditional 4 square, but the little twist with the feelings is that instead of having, just the empty boxes, you could talk about, I'm feeling happy today, or I'm feeling sad today. And, giving these kids an opportunity who can't articulate what they're feeling, a way to communicate with their peers and others while still having that childish, playful setting. We have a maze where the kids can interact with little bugs. So we have little beetles and ants that they can guide their way through. We have the outer space, which is paying a tribute to Wonder. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the story, but it's essentially about a kid who looks a little different and doesn't necessarily belong with his peers, but he's a great kid and he ends up making his friends through that. So that was the idea behind the outer space. And we have a tree house, and so they get to play and interact and imagine all these different scenarios with their friends and get to really interact with this playground.
So like any big project, one person can't be expected to pull it all off. She had a lot of help, and Galila just explains how this came to be.
So I had my National Art Honor Society board members, Christina Havid and LJ Varley. They both helped immensely. They were my support system through it all. They helped me broadcast out to the community and get volunteers to come out. And, they just really supported me when sometimes it was a little difficult to get it through.
Just coming out there and seeing all of the students, and she even did weekend hours where she invited members from the community to come out. It's just been amazing, and it benefits our students, but certainly benefits the community and the high schoolers as well.
So now at Centerville Elementary, you have this wonderful sensory playground for students to take part in. And this is a project that can be done anywhere in our county and beyond. If you feel inspired and you want to find out how you can make this possible at your school, Galila shared some really good advice.
I would recommend, you just reach out to your administrators, talk and see what, your community needs. I did a lot of research on my own, and you can just look it up on Google. It'll tell you what the sensory playground is, give you millions of ideas, because this isn't a new idea. All across the country, sensory playgrounds are being implemented to provide, the children who need a little extra assistance, a place where they can go.
I hope you all enjoyed hearing about this story just as much as I did. And it really shows the power and the possibilities of what happens when we all work together. Catch you next time for another Tweet of the Week. We'll see you again soon.